Assalamu alaikum, my viewers. Today we are going to talk about five steps to successful writing. And the first step to successful writing is preparation. And today I am going to talk about this topic, preparation, and I will try to make my lecture more brief. And I will try my best to make you understand what is preparation, and for this purpose I'm going to use English as well as Urdu. So there are five steps involved in preparation. When you are going to prepare for your any successful document, you are going to use five steps. Number one is define your purpose. Second one is analyze your audience. Third one is analyze your context. Fourth one is determine the scope of your writing. And fifth one is select the suitable medium. So now we move to our first point, that is define your purpose. First, we need to understand what is our purpose. Purpose is basically, in simple words, what you want to achieve is your purpose. Or the reason of your communication is basically your purpose. So why are you communicating will define your purpose. And similarly, you have to decide what is your destination, what you want to achieve from your communication. Whatever you are writing, obviously you will have certain goal in your mind. That goal is basically your purpose, and that your purpose will tell you what to say and how to say, what information you are going to share, and how you are going to present that information, in what order you are going to present that information. Then obviously you will all ask certain questions to yourself, that why are you communicating, or what do you want to achieve, or what you want your readers to understand, and what line of action do you want your readers to take after reading your passage or your document. Let's suppose you have prepared a proposal, and your readers are decision makers. You have to either they have to start a new transportation service in capital city Islamabad. So now your proposal will help them what line of action they have to take. Either they have to start that service, or they are not going to start that service, right? Or you have written a speech and you want to deliver it in front of students, and you want them to become a successful person in their life. So what is the response you want to get from your students is that they are motivated in positive manner, and they are going to take positive steps to make themselves successful in their life. So that is basically your purpose will help you, right? It will also help you what information, what words you are going to use, what data you are going to use, and how you are going to present it, what order you are going to use. Later on, we'll also talk about different methods of development. But here, just understand and define your purpose means that you have to point out your goal, what you want to achieve, why are you communicating. So now we move to the next point, that is analyze your audience. Who is your audience? The respondent, the receiver, the person who is going to respond to your writing, who is going to read your writing, is your audience. So you have to analyze about your audience, certain information about your audience. First, who is your reader? What is his or her age? Do they belong to same age group, or do they belong to different age groups? And are the children, Are they youth? Are they aged people? Or then what is their education? Do they belong to the same education group? Like they all are masters, or they all have passed just they've just passed primary education, or your audience is a group of PhDs, or they don't have education, or they're illiterate people, or their literacy is not very high. Then you are going to discuss what are their interests, right? If they do have certain interests, so what are those interests? And then you are going to consider those interests in your writing. Because if I'm going to read something that I take interest in, so obviously I will respond to it very well. If I'm interested in movies and I read a movie review, so I will respond to it. But if I'm not interested in politics and I have to read a passage or an article about politics in South America or in North America, that is United States of America, so I'm not going to respond to it. So you have to consider interest of your audience too. Then gender, are they from both genders or they are from one gender, right? It will also help you understand your audience and you will decide what you have to write. Then, what is their professional background? What knowledge they have, right? So, it will help you decide what information you are going to share and what information you are not going to share. All right. Okay. Then we will also focus on ethnicity. What is their ethnicity, or what is their religious background, right? All these things we are going to consider as far as our audience is concerned. Now we are going to move to our next slide, that is analyze your context. Context is basically your circumstances in which your communication occurs. It is just like these are the conditions in which your communication is occurring, right? So you have to see the social background, the psychological background, cultural background, historical background of your communication. All right. So, is there any certain relationship between you and your reader, or what is what is the psychological, or what is the perception about your writing, or um, uh, what is the cultural background of your readers, like what kind of religion they have, what kind of traditions they have, what kind of environment they have, what kind of languages they speak, what kind of ethnicity they have, right? And then historical background, what is there any history uh, which you can include in that writing, in that document? Do you have to give certain history, like if you take example of air crash in Karachi, so you have to give the history, what happened, and then the background, why that happened, and the history of that airplane, when it was bought and how many hours it flew, and how many times it was checked, right? So next thing is determine the scope of your writing. You have to find out what you have to include and what you are going to omit. How you are going to decide it? Basically, your purpose and your audience, as well as your context, they are going to help you to decide what information you have to include and what information you are not going to include. It will save your time. It will save you time because you will be focused. All right, you will not wander here and there. Okay, so when you are focused, your research will be to the point, your research will be very focused. You will be able to know what points I have to find and what points I have to research, and how I'm going to organize them, right? So the last point in preparation is, that is the last point of our lecture too, that is select your medium. What is medium? Basically the way through which you convey your message is basically your medium. In writing you can use email, you can use letter, you can use memo, you can use proposal, you can use report, you can use websites, right? Even you can write articles, you can write books. So what you need to do is, again, your audience. Who is your audience, right? Do they have, if you need to use email, so do your whole audience have email facility? Do they have net? Do they have computers? Do they have other sources which they can use to see the email? Or you have to send them a letter, a normal, traditional, conventional, through postage, right? Or are they uh, members of your office, so you can use memo for them? And if you have to write proposal, it means it is highly official document you are going to give, right? Same is the report. If you're finding certain problems and officially you are asked to do something to find out or research it, so obviously you are going to use report or website. If you want that thousands and thousands and every kind of person should read about my message, so you can use the website. Okay, so these are 5 elements which you have to consider for preparing any kind of document. So I hope that you have understood this, and you will, inshallah, you will learn how to do successful writing. So that was our first step. Next step we will discuss in our next lecture. So till then, Allah Hafiz, see you, take care.